Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll walk you through a super important topic in web development, which is error handling and middleware in web application. Firstly, if you ever had your app crash unexpectedly or seen a scary error message on your website, this is exactly what we want to prevent. In this verse, I will explain about the concepts, what error handling is, the different types of error, HTTP status codes, and how the middleware helps. And in next, we will move into live coding and demos. So let us move into introduction. First, we will discuss about what is error handling. I will simply say that error handling simply means detecting when something goes wrong in your app and then responding in a controlled way. For example, let us think of like this. If a user submits a form with missing data without error handling, the server might just break or return a correct error. But this proper handling, we can return a clear messages like 400 bad request, missing email fail. So we have good error handling. There's three main types. Firstly, we can see here prevent crashes, and second one is enhance stress, and third one is smoother user experience. First, let us go to the prevent crashes. Prevent crashes means it improves reliability, means your app does not crash. So in an enhanced stress, that means it builds user trust and user sees friendly messages, not technical errors. Next, smooth user experience means it helps developer debug faster because the errors are logged properly. Here we can see this. We can see user request, server error, structured response. So instead of chance, when something fails, we bring structure and predictability. So let us move into the next topic, types of errors. Here we can see four types of error present here. The first one is client side error, the second one is server side error, and the third one is network errors, and the fourth one is database errors. There are few main error categories we see in web applications. So we discussed earlier, it has four types. First one, let us go into the client side errors. Error organization from the user request such as incorrect input or attempt to access non-existent resources. Example 404 not found. So in this I will simply explain means the client made a mistake. Maybe the requested a page that does not exist. So we can see that 4 not found or submitted invalid input. So when we submit invalid input, that can say 400 bad requests. So that is about client side error. Okay. Next we will go to the server side error. Here it can say that errors occurring within the application backend, including crashes and handle expectations of processing failures. Example 400 internal server error. I will simply explain this as these are on us, the developers, which means the developers. Maybe a debug in our code or a server crash. The classic one is 500 internal server error. So when we bug our code or server crash, we can see that 500 internal server error. So let us move into the network errors. I know most of you know that what is network errors. So here it's issues related to communication between client and server, like connection timeouts or lost network connectivity. This happens when the connection drops, the server is unreachable, or the request times out. You will know more about the network errors. So let's go to database errors, which means problems with database interactions such as failed queries, connection issues, or data integrity violations, which means if your app depends on a database, failed queries or lost connection can trigger errors. So by identifying these types of error, we can respond more accurately with the right status code and messages. So let us move into that HTTP status codes. So now let us talk about the status code. These are the languages the server uses to communicate with the clients. Okay. First one is 2x means success. For example, 200 OK or 201 created. Okay. Next, second one is 400. 4x means client side errors like 400 bagged request or 401 unauthorized or 404 not found. 5x server means server side error. For example, 500 internal server error or 503 service unavailable. These are the key point is always return to correct status code. This makes debugging easier and helps other systems like APS and monitoring tools understand what went wrong. So let us move to the most important topic, error handling middleware. In this middleware is this brings us to middleware. In frameworks like express.js, middleware functions are used to process requests step by step. This is the definition. And processes, instead of writing try or catch, in every single route, we can define a control error handling middleware. When something goes wrong, the error is passed into this middleware and the middleware decides what gets logged for developers, what status codes and messages are sent back to the users. Okay, this is the process of the middleware. And coming to the benefits are clear. We have consistent error response, improved maintainability, streamlined debugging, which means we avoid duplicate code, we send consistent error response, and we have a single place to manage logging and response. Think of a middleware as a checkpoint. Every error flows into gets recorded and then turned into a safe user-friendly message before being sent back. See here how it processes request in middleware, error handling and response out. This is how it works. So let us move into the next one. Here we see middleware in action. Express.example. This code snippet demonstrates a simple express.js application with a route that initially throws an error and yet detects a error handling middleware. So I will show the live example. So let us go to the VS Code and see how it will works. First, here we can see that in first two lines we have seen the first constant express is equal to express, which means load the express library into the file so you can use it to create a web or server and define routes and middleware. So this lines means we can express the library into the file so we cannot create web servers. So coming to the next one, constant app is equals to express. Here we can create an express application instance. App is the main object used to register routes and the middleware and to start the server. So we can see that. Next, we can see here app.use request res. Next, console.receive request means next. Here we can see this register a middleware function that runs for every incoming request because no path is specified. Okay. Here in line 6 we can see this. It means request for a single required URL prints a simple log for every request showing the HTTP method and the request URL used for the basic request tracking. Next, cause the next middleware or route handle in the chain. Important meaning without an argument means continue normally. If the lines were next error, Express would read it an error and jump to error handling middleware. Okay. Next, we can go to the Here we can see that welcome to my web page. It defines a get route for the route path. When a client visits, the server responds with a plain text message with welcome to my web app. Resend and send the response body and ends the request. This means, what does that mean? Okay, next we can see here something went wrong, which means this register a root at error intent to demonstrate error handling. Okay, next we will see here passing an error object to next tells express to skip remaining normal middleware and root handles and root extension directly to any error handling. Okay, next we will see this. Here we can see that send an HTTP response with status code 500 and Johnson body describing the error. Line per includes the number code in the Johnson. In line 6, in 26, internal server error. Please try again later. A safe user friendly message. Note, we avoid sending internal details to the client. Okay. Here we can see the callback on line 31 runs once the server is listening and logs a confirmation. What happens when you test is see, now I will run this and we will see what happens. See, here I can view this node app.js. So it will provide, see here it will provide the link. So when we follow the link, see, here we can see the welcome to my web app. So here how it works. So other it welcome to my web app, and we can also see this. See, when I print, this is status internal server error. Please try and like that. This is how it works. Okay. Coming to the points, we can see. See here how it is demo output. We have already seen how it comes. Welcome, everything works fine, and we have also went through the something went wrong. Okay, so next we will go to the best practices for robust for error handling. Here are some good habits to follow while using Express. Always handle errors in one place using middleware. Okay, send proper status codes like 404 missing pages and 500 for server codes. Log your errors but don't show internal code details user. Use middleware to log all incoming requests. It uses tools like Winston or Sensity on motor errors real time. Always treat your app with bond, normal and error situation. These are the small steps make our app more secure, reliable and easy to maintain. By conclusion, so that's how error handling and middleware work in Express. By using a single error handle and handling a simple logging, you can make your app safer, cleaner and easy to debug. If you like the explanation, here are takeaways. Means errors are inevitable. Prepare for them. Don't ignore. Status code handle. Use them to communicate clearly with clients. Middleware handle for maintainable constantly error management. Priority security. Never leak sensitive information if error response. So here it is the full topic of middleware. Thank you for watching.